Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how I turn my artwork like this into sticker sheets for you guys. And this is actually going to be the sticker sheet for this month, and it's themed like outdoorsy. Every time I think of fall, I think of the outdoors. So that's what the theme is for this month, kind of. It's like I thought about it the past week while I couldn't do any artwork, and so I just felt like drawing some outdoor stuff. So anyway, first thing first is I have to paint my art, and then I just make sure everything is cleaned up. Sometimes I have other pieces of artwork that I want to also prepare, and what I do next is that I take it to my scanner, and I don't have anything fancy. I have a Canon Pixma scanner and printer. The printer does not work well anymore, so I just use it for scanning, and it is the MX922. So we are going to be taking that to the scanner to scan, and I have it on basic settings. I don't have anything special. I do try to have the computer pick auto, where they just select whichever one. I guess the computer kind of selects whatever is the best. Sometimes I've done it in document, and sometimes I've done it as a photo. I just look to see which one to me looks better. I always put all my artwork into Photoshop. Once we get to that step, I will show you what I do. Okay, so my scanner is nothing fancy, like I mentioned. It was working for like my stickers a couple years ago, and now I just haven't felt like trying to go through so much ink to try to fix it, because even when I do get new ink, it doesn't print properly. So the scanner is here, and I already had a sheet that I was scanning from, which was some more artwork I was going to use and some artwork you've probably already seen in a printable. So I just lay it down in here, close it, and then I do the rest of the scanning on my computer. So for my book, I will do the same thing. Take this one out. Make sure that the paint is dry, because I've already had this experience before. I've actually put acrylic artwork on here and it wasn't completely dry, and I kind of mess up part of my scanner a little bit. So every time I do go in and adjust like some of the settings in Photoshop, it's because I have already some stains on my screen that I haven't been able to get off. But before I scan, if I haven't scanned for a while, I will wipe the screen with one of those cloths that you get with like glasses, and so I will wipe it so it's nice and clean. So now I am at the Photoshop section of this video, and here you'll see me pulling my file down into Photoshop, and I'm just dragging it over. This is the longest portion of the work after I create the art. I have to scan all the sheets in, and I actually do this simultaneously as I am working on the first scan. So I was able to only scan a portion of the page because of the way my scanner is facing that. I do have some specks on it as well, so I always try to clean it off, but there's always something that gets on it. So I end up having to work around that, and I can only scan so many pieces of my artwork at once, so I have to always adjust it. So after I do the first scan, I go back in to adjust for the next scan, and then I get started with Photoshop while it's scanning. So here I'm getting started. You'll see me, I am pulling all the little pieces from the page and making a copy so that I can take that copy and break it down to where I'm pulling all the white area around my artwork and deleting it so that I just have the artwork. So this part can take some time depending on how white the background of my paper is, and if it's really white, usually I can get it in one go, but if it's not, then I have to do this little cutout shape and get the artwork out that way. I also have to clean up the edges, especially if I am doing a print on like sticker paper versus a download. On downloads, I usually can get away with not having to cut the edges as cleanly because the paper is already white. So I usually put most of my backgrounds on white paper. And if I have to change the color of the paper, that's when I have to be a little bit more intricate in making sure that each of my pieces of artwork are not showing its background color from the original sheet. Now, because this is a sticker that I'm creating, this is going to be the Patreon sticker for October, and hopefully you've already received yours. I am making sure that I have to put a white background border on it, and that allows for a nice clean cut when it comes to my cutter. And after I do that, I kind of put them in a fashion to where they won't be touching each other when they are being printed and cut out on the paper. So I tried to organize them on the sheet so that they are placed well on the sticker sheet, and so that I can get as many stickers on the sticker sheet as possible. So here I try to get them as big as I can, but sometimes I have to make some smaller than others, and that's where I pick and choose which one gets to be bigger and smaller than the other. And I do like to work on a different colored background just to make sure that things aren't touching, since it does have a couple millimeter of a background cutout on it. And then after that, I will save the sheet and send it to my printer so that it can print and cut on my Cricut. So this process also applies to when I'm creating your printables. I do go through just about the same exercise, except for always creating that little couple millimeter background, white background. So for those sheets that are PNG, it's usually because that there is a background and you guys can print it off. And if you had a cutter, then you can use this as a template for your cutter. But I don't always do that, just because some of my artwork is a little bit more difficult to create the background than others. So this is pretty much what I do, and I have been playing around with some background colors. I was thinking about creating a background color for the sticker sheet, but then I realized that background color takes up a lot of ink from the printer, especially a laser printer. So I forgo the background and kept it white. So here I've already printed out the stickers. This is 2 stickers on one sheet, and it's roughly 4 1/4 by 6 inches. And I do this hack on my Cricut mat, and that's only when I've had the mat for a long time and the tackiness is not so tacky. So I use some washi tape to keep it down, and it helps keeps it sturdy and doesn't allow for much shifting of my paper when the Cricut cuts it. And when they're shifting, it does get uneven cut lines, and so that's one of the hacks I do to prolong my Cricut mats. But here I'm just going through the cycle, and this is pretty much what I do when I am creating your sticker sheets. So that's pretty much how you do it. This process can be a little bit long and tedious. The last few things I do need to adjust and add a couple more items onto the like scanner that I want to put in, and then that's pretty much it. I'm gonna send it as a file to my Cricut, which I can then export and print off on my HP printer, which is below my desk, and then I can cut it out. So I have to decide which looks better. I think these might look better as matte stickers than clear stickers, but I'm going to like print them off in both cases just to see which one looks better. So I hope this video was helpful, kind of give you a little bit of insight into some of the details or behind the scene things, and just how time consuming being on the computer and trying to get everything right it is. And so I just hope that, you know, this helped you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I would say if it's like Photoshop based, I may be able to help you, but I am always learning myself. I even took a class to try to understand Photoshop a little bit better, and just like the tools and what they do, like on the left side. But there's also things you can search on Google or even on YouTube to see how to. So that's it. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and thank you for joining me. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.